Hey, my name is Portia Sterling, and if you're here, then hopefully that means that you're interested in my Write With Me series that I'm doing, where I'm giving you some behind the scenes giving a behind the scenes look on my creative process as I go through planning out the first book of the next series that I'm putting out. And in the meantime, I'm going to give some tips. So if you're working on a book of your own, maybe these things will help you a little bit. But this video is coming after my last one. If you haven't seen the last one, I was talking about the not so cute meet cute between my characters, where I planned on having, like I said, something really just cute and put together for them to like run into each other, like one of those just really romantic fantasy love at first sight moments. But I guess that just wasn't in the cards for these characters. They just didn't feel authentic for what I was trying to create with them. So I said in the last video, like, I was just gonna sit on it and see who they had to be in order for this to work out, with them being on like two opposite ends of an idea or an opinion about something. So I did that, and I decided to focus on Neveah's character first and to come up with her, basically like just everything about her. So what I like to do when I'm coming up with a character is to do a brain dump of just whatever and kind of sort through it to figure out like what kind of person she is. So that's what I did. Okay. So sorry, I had to pause it to take a call, very important call, but I'm back. But anyways, so to continue on what I was talking about, like I said, I had to sit with it and figure out like what personality what strong personality traits and what characteristics and what hobbies and what blah 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 did the characters have to have in order to fully embody the vision that I have. Excuse me. But and so that took some time, but I had to revert back to what I said in the very first video of the series, where the whole point is to be building a character. The main character is supposed to be you. Like, when I spoke about that, if you've been following the series, the task was to create a character based off of like the healed version of you. So basically who you are embodying now, or who you plan or aspire to embody as a person that is not living from trauma but living from power. And that's kind of what I went through with Neveah. So I thought about like, what would I want her character traits to be? Like, I see her as somebody that definitely is outspoken and speaks their mind, because Lord knows I love to speak my mind. Somebody that's not easily swayed into something that she does not want to do, but also somebody that has strong convictions and morals and views on what is right, and someone who is very passionate about women's rights, and especially Black women, and the ability to take up space and to, do what is necessary and needed to be done, even if it's the hard thing, as long as you're not taking advantage of someone or causing undue harm. So that made sense when I was thinking about the fact that she would be at a protest, and she would be protesting like the ability of men to have a say-so in anything that has to do with a woman's body, because I'm definitely a person that feels strongly about that. Like, if you don't have my body parts, you can't tell me what to do with them. And even if you got my body parts, but you don't have my body, you still can't tell me. So basically, can't nobody tell me. But that is kind of how Neveah is. And so then I went through and outlined like her likes, dislikes, and things like that. So I thought about the things that I like and the things that I would like to do, which was a very fun process because with that, I kind of just went through different things that I would like to learn how to do, different things that I am learning how to do. I have like this guitar here. So I'm very passionate about music. I have a piano and I want to buy a drum set. So like I'm really passionate about music and making music and learning how to make music. So I kind of put her in that same mindset where she's learning an instrument. I'm also really passionate about movement. So I take like a pole dancing class, a belly dancing class. So I took one of those and decided like, you know, these are her hobbies. These are pastime. I do yoga, I do Pilates. So I kind of based her off of that. A person that is really into like, you know, aligning her chakras and doing things that are healthy for not just her body, but her energy in general, and very connected to earth and nature, and very much aware of herself so that when she meets somebody like her opposite in the book, Daenerys, which he goes by Nasir in the book, she just is very strong, and it hits him in a way that he's just not used to because he's a person that's very strong and dominant, and he's used to people kind of folding under his strength, and she's just like, look, I'm strong too, so what you gonna do about it, and who gonna check me, boo? Like, basically. So yeah, when I outline characters, like I was saying, I kind of do a brain dump of all the things that I think I want. I even go down to like their zodiac sign. A lot of my characters have been Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn. So I've done that. But, you know, if you follow astrology, everybody has more than one main sign. So I think I'm going to take one of my other signs and use that to build her character. And then what I usually like to do is I'll even look up some characteristics of that sign and kind of see if if I can use some of those things to build into the character. I looked at her age. Neveah in my book has children. She has 2 sons, so I added that in there. And you know, I thought about like, what is it that she does for a living? So I decided to have her as someone who works as I haven't decided exactly what kind of professional, but some kind of therapist or professional that works at a woman's trauma center, like that helps women that have had some kind of trauma, whether it's like sexual trauma or abuse or whatever it is, and she's there to help. It's like a mental health thing, so I really thought that would be neat. And like I go down to it like if I'm, you know, what kind of neighborhood does she live in, what kind, you know, like I actually make her a person. What kind of music does she listen to? She's like me, like she can go from, you know, Uncle Luke to Kendrick Lamar to Kirk Franklin to piano symphonies, like, so I kind of made her that type of person. And yeah, so when you're building a character, you want to kind of make them a well-rounded thing, because especially if you intend on creating a series, because if you can kind of see the character as a person, then you can make sure that you continue to be consistent to them throughout your series. You don't want them, you know, in one book acting one way and then in another book acting a totally different way just because you didn't think of them as an actual person. And so then obviously creating a character like that, when you're thinking about the fact that you have to make a love interest, you want there to be some kind, like you want to build on chemistry. And usually chemistry is built on opposites attracting, or you can do the opposites attract thing. You can do the thing where like they have traits that the other one just dislikes and like just hates entirely, or you could do it where they have ways of being that contrast against what the other person even believes is like possible. With this story, because of the nature of it, with Nasir being put in a position where he's supposed to get with Neveah, even though he doesn't want to, which I have to get into that later. But basically, the setup is that because of some kind of duty that he has to fulfill, he has to be with her. And he's in a position where he doesn't want to be with anybody, not in a serious way. So because that's the setup, I thought it would make sense for him to just kind of have that attitude where he doesn't want to do it. He's very resistant to it. So even when it comes to who she is and how she is, he doesn't see the beauty in it. He's more just like annoyed and frustrated that he has to even do this thing to begin with. So yeah, like I thought that would kind of build natural chemistry, because it's one of those things, like I love when I'm reading books where it's just like, why do these people hate each other? They would be so good together, but like the characters just don't see it. And when you're trying to build that kind of tension, then that helps you decide, or helps you kind of figure out what kind of personality traits that the people have to have in order to play on that dynamic. So with Nasir, I made him pretty much exactly like her, but just because this is how it happens in real life, right? People attract and there's tension, and you end up finding out that y'all are the exact same, just in different ways. Like two stubborn people get together and there's tension because they're both stubborn but about different things. So I made them like that. Like they're both headstrong, opinionated, outspoken, truth tellers, like not afraid to tell it like it is. And also they have experience and knowledge to back their premise on things. So it's very hard for them to see that. So that means that them having that experience and all of that makes it very hard for them to see the other person's point of view. And so then I think that will kind of create this natural push and pull dynamic between them, where it's like we hate each other, we love each other, we hate each other, we love each other. Something just keeps kind of pulling us back together. And then, of course, as an author, the job then is to create these things, these instances that illustrate that. So I think it's really important to build like multi-dimensional characters. You don't want a one-dimensional character. And a one-dimensional character would be like, if you think about like, okay, if I took this person out of the story, like, so if I had Neveah and I took Nasir out of the book, what would be lost? Like, does he bring any value other than supplying the book with sex scenes? Like, is there something that she would lose if she never met this person other than that fulfillment of that, Because I read so many books where the love interest is kind of one-dimensional. Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, the only reason these two are together is because they have hot scenes together. If they never met, there's not any growth that happened because of them meeting. There's not any open-mindedness that happened as a result of them meeting. There's nothing that happened outside of the bedroom that was pivotal to the story, other than maybe him buying her some stuff, or like hooking her up at the nail salon, or with a new house, or I read so many books like that, and I feel like it's kind of an empty romance. I also think that it's so important to illustrate the cost of love in books, like the presence, the when I bring in a male love interest, I always make it so that his presence in her life costs something, and vice versa. Her presence in his life costs something, because I think in any real love situation, it's never like, oh, we get together and there's no kind of cost involved. Like there's some kind of sacrifice that happens, and it may be like a happy sacrifice. Like it may be something where it's like, oh, I'm happy to give up my bachelorette card. I'm happy to give up this, and become what this person needs because I love them. But there's still some kind of cost, and usually until you get to the point where like someone's happy to give up something, there's that moment of like, do I really want to, like, is this person really worth it? So I think it's really important to think about that when you're creating your characters. Like, what is this person enjoying in their single life or their life with before this person that they'll have to give up in order to be together? So in some cases, it's just the sense of like the guy might be out there just like slanging it all over the city. To be with her, he has to not do that. Or for her, maybe, I know like in Bad Boys Do It Better, the big cost to Janelle was that Outlaw was like he was a street dude. Like he was, he was a known criminal. So, and she was an attorney. So the cost was a professional cost. Sometimes it's a personal cost, but there has to be some kind of cost involved because that's just how life is, period. Like, and in this case, with my book, you have Nasir. He's a single guy just doing whatever he wants in Atlanta. And then Neveah is a more kind of established, stable woman, and she has children. So that's a huge cost if he wants to be with her because he's given up some amount of, freedom and independence and all of that. And for her, she's kind of doing her thing as a single mother and calling the shots, and to bring a man in and have to like think of his opinions and needs in a relationship costs her some things too, because she's at the point where she's kind of like, I don't really feel like doing all of that. Like I'm good with me and my two. us three, we're straight. So that's a good thing to kind of think about when you're creating your characters. That creates a lot of romantic tension. In real life romance, there's also a lot of mirroring that happens. Like you're with somebody and there is usually some part of the relationship where they mirror your deepest fears or desires. And so there's a lot of like confronting where you have to confront yourself in some ways. If it's a good relationship, like and it's one that's pushing you towards growth, which those are the ones I like to write about. There's going to be some mirroring where you can kind of see the person that you're with maybe doing things that you've done in other situations, and now you can see the side of it where you're like, that wouldn't, I'm starting to see myself and I don't like it. So then you can choose to kind of rise or stick your head in the sand and be the same as you were and just go find somebody else that can put up with it. But so I think that's usually good. Like, it reminds me of that Jamie Foxx song where he's like, she's just like me, like that. Like, I think it's so cute when characters get together and there's in a book and they're like supposed to love each other, but there's that first initial thing like, she's just like me, like she does this, and now I can see like that ain't, I can see the other side of that and I don't like it. So that's another thing that helps you build kind of really good romantic tension and characters, and it helps you want to think about it in the beginning when you're coming up with their personalities and their character traits, because then you kind of, if you go that deep in the planning of the person, it just becomes so fluid and easy to write later on. If you know like, oh, this person's headstrong and this person's this, and he has a fear of commitment and she has a fear of being controlled, then it makes all the scenarios you write after that super easy. So, yeah, I mean, this is kind of where I am at this point in the process with character building. I'm pretty much done with this. And then the next video, what I plan on doing is showing you or giving you a peek into my process of world building. If you don't follow me on any of my social pages, then you probably haven't seen my announcement that this book is a romantasy book. So that was surprise, the surprise announcement, I guess, that I was holding, but it's like a fantasy. So the last series I completed was an urban fairy tale, so I was in fairy tale land. This, I'm just creating a whole different land, like whole different rules. I mean, based off of what I'm doing, some people might say that that happens in the world today. I don't know, but for me, I'm just making up something where I'm coming up with the rules. So in the next video, if that's something you're interested in, if you're tired of living in the US of A and the world as it is today, and you're tired of listening to the leaders make up whatever they want to make up and, you know, running the country that way, well, I'll be teaching or showing you my process into making my own world with my own rules. And coming from a romantasy standpoint, that means like even changing the universal laws. So, you know, creating people that have certain kind of abilities or, you know, supernatural abilities. I didn't go too supernatural. I kind of went to like, you know, where people, even now, like certain people are a little bit more clairvoyant than others. Some people seem like they can, you know, a lot of Black families might have that grandmother in the family who dreams of fish and then somebody's pregnant. You know, we don't think about that stuff as like a superpower, but it technically could be, because how you dreaming about fish and God done told you that somebody's pregnant, or like, you know, things like that happen. So I kind of pulled in things that even in this world we just see as coincidence or just old wives' tale or whatever, and I made it an actual like thing in this world that some people, basically some groups of people know all about it, and they know why it happens, and you know, they know all of the secrets of how this world was created. So it'll be exciting, I think. But if you don't want to miss it, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and like this video so you'll get the updates. And happy building your characters, you guys. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. You do not want to miss the next video, I promise. So please like this video and subscribe to my channel for more.